You see your child screaming on the living room floor because the glass is wrong. It's not broken, it's not dirty, it's just the light blue glass instead of the dark blue one. And there, in that second, you feel a wave of frustration rise in your chest. You've already tried to explain. You've already said that it's just water, that it doesn't matter which glass it's in. You've offered another one. You've ignored it. You've walked away. And nothing, absolutely nothing works. The tantrum only gets worse. The crying gets louder, and you start to wonder if you're failing as a parent, if there's something wrong with you, with your child, or with both of you. That feeling of exhaustion mixed with guilt is real. It's heavy. And believe me, you're not alone in it. Now imagine that there is a way to cut through this emotional storm in just 60 seconds. Not with shouting, not with punishment, not with fighting, just with a simple sequence of movements and words that calms the child's nervous system almost instantly. It seems impossible, but it's exactly what child psychologists have been observing in Korean families for years. And no, it's not magic. It's science applied in such a simple way that any parent can do it, even in the midst of chaos, even when they've already lost their patience 3 times that day. This expert, who has spent decades studying child behavior and following families from different cultures, noticed something curious. While Western parents tend to react to tantrums by trying to control them quickly, Korean families do the opposite. They slow down, they breathe, they approach, but without rushing. And somehow, the child calms down faster than when you try to stop the crying by force. This caught his attention, and that's when he began to map out exactly what these families were doing differently. What he discovered has changed the way he guides parents to this day. Before explaining the method itself, this psychologist always makes a point of showing parents what really happens inside a child's head during a tantrum, because when you understand that, everything changes. A young child's brain is not yet ready. The part that controls impulses, that rationalizes, that can say, it's okay, it's not that serious, that part is still under construction. It will take years to mature. So when something goes wrong, even if it's something small like the wrong color cup, the child's brain triggers an emergency alarm. It's as if the control panel has malfunctioned. The child is not pretending. They really feel that this is a catastrophe. And then comes the crying, the screaming, the body on the floor. It's not malice, it's pure emotional immaturity. And what happens on your side? When your child starts screaming, your own brain also sets off an alarm. You feel irritation, embarrassment if you're in public, fear of being a bad parent, pressure to resolve the situation quickly, and then you react. You try to correct, explain, distract, or even scream back. But here's the problem. When you react quickly, with tension, with forced control, the child's brain interprets this as more danger. The emotional storm only gets worse. It becomes a cycle. You push, the child resists. You yell, the child yells louder. And in the end, no one wins, everyone gets hurt. So what this psychologist proposes is to break this cycle. And he does this by teaching parents to do exactly the opposite of what their instincts tell them to do. Instead of speeding up, slow down. Instead of speaking louder, speak more softly. Instead of trying to stop the emotion, embrace the emotion. It seems strange at first, but it works, and it works fast. He calls this an active pause. It's not about ignoring the child. It's about pausing your own automatic reaction and creating a space of calm around them. The first move, he advises, is physical. The moment you see the tantrum starting, or even when it's already at its peak, you stop. Literally stop, take a deep breath, exhale slowly, and lower your body until you are at the child's eye level. Don't stand and look down on them. Don't walk away. You get down, get closer, and stay there at the same level. This movement alone sends a message to the child's brain. You are not a threat. You are not attacking. You are together. And this triggers an invisible button in their nervous system that begins to turn off panic mode. The second step happens right after, and it's the hardest for many parents. You don't say anything yet, just look. Look into the child's eyes calmly, without anger on your face, without rushing. Just breathe and let them see that you are there, present, without judgment. Often the child will continue to cry, and that's okay. You are not trying to stop the crying at that moment. You are showing that the crying does not scare you, does not push you away. This silence, full of presence, according to the expert, is worth more than 1,000 words. The child feels safe even before you open your mouth. After that comes touch. Still without speaking, you place your hand on their shoulder, or hold their little hand, or touch their back with your palm. A light, firm, constant touch. Some children will throw themselves into your lap immediately. Others will resist a little, and that's okay too. You adapt, but you don't let go. This calm physical contact sends a direct message to the child's body. It says that they are not alone, that they have not been abandoned, that you can weather this storm together with them. And here, many tantrums already begin to lose strength. You will see their shoulders relax, their crying become less intense, their bodies soften. Only then, after these 3 movements, do you speak. And what you say is very specific. You don't explain, you don't correct, you don't scold. You just name what the child is feeling. For example, if it was the cup issue, you say something like, "You are very angry because I gave you the wrong cup. You wanted the other one. I understand. If it was a toy that broke, this toy broke and you're sad. It was important to you." Simple as that. No buts, no howevers, no trying to change the emotion. Just validate it. And when the child feels seen, when they realize that you understand their pain, even if it seems silly to you, something changes. The need to scream diminishes because they have already been heard. The last step is to invite the child to come out of that state with you. Don't order them. Invite them. The expert suggests something like, "Shall we breathe together now? When you're ready, we'll sort this out." Or, "How about we take 3 deep breaths and you do it together. Breathe loudly, slowly, and wait for them to copy you." And most of the time, they will. Because at that point, their brain has already left emergency mode. They trust you again. They realize they are safe. This whole process takes about 60 seconds. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. But it's infinitely faster than letting the tantrum explode, turning into an argument, punishment, prolonged crying, and that heavy atmosphere that lasts the rest of the day. And most importantly, you're not just putting out the fire. You're teaching the child's brain to deal with frustrations in a healthy way. Now think of practical situations. Imagine you're at the supermarket and your child wants chocolate. You say no. He throws himself on the floor and starts screaming. The usual reaction would be to grab him by the arm, drag him away, tell him he's embarrassing himself, and threaten to take something away when you get home. But what does the psychologist suggest? That you stop, breathe, get down to his level right there in the middle of the aisle and say, "I know you really want that chocolate bar. It's hard when we can't have what we want." Then hold his hand, breathe together, and wait. The tantrum will last much less time, and you'll leave there without trauma, without a fight, without that horrible feeling that you've lost control. Another example, bedtime. The child doesn't want to go to sleep. They start crying, saying they're scared, that they want to stay awake, that they're not sleepy. Instead of fighting, saying it's late, threatening them, you sit on the edge of the bed, lower your voice, put your hand on their chest and say, "You don't want to sleep right now, I know." Sometimes it's annoying to have to stop playing. So you breathe with them slowly, and in a few minutes their body relaxes. They won't fall asleep right away, but their resistance diminishes. And little by little, night after night, their brain learns that sleep is not punishment, it's rest. One more, 2 brothers fighting over a toy. The younger one cries, the older one screams. You arrive. Instead of finding out who started it, telling them to give it back, or punishing them, you crouch down between them and say, "You're both very angry right now. You both wanted the same toy and don't know how to resolve it." Then you take a breath, put a hand on each of them, and wait. They will feel that you are not on either of their sides, that you are there to help, not to punish. And often they find the solution themselves because their brains are no longer in attack mode. What this expert always emphasizes is that it is not about letting the child do whatever they want. The limit still exists. No is still no. But the way you maintain that limit changes everything. You can say no and still embrace the sadness, anger, and frustration that comes with it. And when you do this repeatedly, the child learns something fundamental. They learn that they can feel big emotions and still be loved, that the world doesn't end when they get angry, that there is a way to weather the storm without drowning. Over time, the tantrums get smaller, not because you are controlling the child, but because their brain is maturing in a healthy way. They begin to have words for what they feel. They begin to ask for help instead of screaming. They begin to trust that you will understand, so they don't need to explode to be seen. And you, on your side, stop panicking every time a tantrum starts. You know what to do. You know that 60 seconds of intentional calm is worth more than half an hour of fighting. So this psychologist's final advice is simple. The next time your child has a meltdown, stop, breathe, get down low, look, touch, say little, and validate a lot. Invite them to calm down together and observe. Observe how the child's body responds, how the crying changes, how you both come out of it differently. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get it right every time. But with every tantrum you face with presence instead of control, you are building something bigger. You are teaching emotional regulation. You are creating security. You are showing that love is not the absence of limits. It is presence in chaos. And that, in the end, is what every child needs to grow up emotionally healthy.